Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to show you what is in my fishing vest, or as some would say, what's in my tackle box, or anything I take fishing, I suppose. So what you see in front of you is quite a few things, and then I've got some things on the back table back there. But right here to start off is this dirty old vest, and this thing has been through many years of fishing and caught quite a few fish, I would say. It's seen some mileage, and that's what you want with a fishing vest, something that can get you through it. And you can see it's in pretty good condition. It's just really dirty. It's a Copper River. Not that the brand matters that much. Most of the fishing vests you'll find are pretty basic. One of the things I always have attached on here is my scissors for getting stuff out, getting the hooks out, or anything random. And then another thing that I've found super helpful for cutting line is putting fingernail clippers on this extendable kind of reel thing. Don't mind my thumb, I burnt myself while I was trying to cook, so it's got kind of a nasty scab on it. But this is super helpful, and it's right there, quick access. I can just bring it down and snip my line. Something that I definitely recommend. And then usually all of these little pockets will be filled up with the stuff I'm going to show you here in a second. And then actually on the back side here, I have another pocket, which I put some larger stuff, which I'll go into that here in a second also. Which I guess I should kind of mention. So most of y'all probably know if you watch the channel, but this is used for trout fishing. I've got some bass stuff and catfish stuff, but almost exclusively what I do is trout fishing anymore. So anything we'll look at today is on the trout fishing side of things for the most part. And I fish mostly in West Virginia, so a lot of it's stock trout and some of it's wild trout that I'll go for. So I'll kind of show the differences in between that. And so obviously you can't say stock trout in West Virginia without going to the good old power bait. So I've got plenty of flavors here. But the one that I think that I use the most is this one right here. And maybe this one isn't it, but it is the yellow power bait is what I like to use the most. But the best flavor of it is salmon egg flavor. And so I've got some different ones here. That one's cheese. Pink, you need to have some pink too, is just like kind of a contrast. And then occasionally green will work, but between pink and yellow, that's really the ones that work. And if you can find the power bait salmon egg flavor, that's really what does the trick. So we'll go ahead and move down here to the weights that I use. So I like these little water gremlin ones, split shot. So a lot of split shot, they'll have the kind of notches on the back, and I don't like that. I feel like it gets caught. But these little water gremlin ones, they're just plain old round ones. And yeah, they're just the plain old round ones, pretty small. And I find those are the best for not getting stuck. And always carry plenty of these, and then also some larger ones if I get into some slower moving water, of course. My hooks, I always use either size 14 or size 16 treble hooks when I'm fishing for stock trout. I think that those are the best. I rarely ever have a fish get off on those, for sure. Some of the other things that I use other than power bait are trout magnets and these little power bait little worm things. They work sometimes, but honestly, these trout magnets are really good. And the ones that work the best are the red ones and the white ones. As you can see, there are one red and there are not a single white one. So I'm gonna have to restock before the new year comes. But those are the ones that I find work the best. Sometimes the gold and the pink will do decent, but the white and the red are really what seems to be working. And so I always carry this. I sometimes will use spinners and little crawfish things if nothing's biting and I can see the fish. But the ones that I find the spinners work the best are, if I could get it out, this type, which is, it's usually a silver spinner and it's got like a little fish head on it. And then you can see it's kind of scaled. I think these work really good, and it's just got a normal treble hook at the end. But sometimes these rooster tails will work. I don't use spinners that often. As you can see, it's kind of a mess, but sometimes you need those. And I find those ones with the trout work really well. Funnily enough, the place where I used them the most was when I was fishing in Montana, the heart of fly fishing area. I decided to use just a real spinning reel, and those spinners worked really well out there, surprisingly. I always carry this also. It's just kind of a backup of anything that I need. If you're using trout magnets, I will kind of go into this. If you're using trout magnets, these little eye hooks right here, those are quality. Those are very, very, very good. So I make sure to stick those hooks on if I'm using a trout magnet. Something else I always keep is just this little multi-tool. You never know when you'll need something like this. It's really small and compact, and I just keep it in my front pocket. I also keep a bobber sometimes. I don't use it that much, but if I'm fishing in the catch and release zones with a barbless hook and trout magnet, sometimes this is good if you're going to be jigging. So I always keep that just in case. And if I'm with anyone that snags a lot, which sometimes that could be Allie, my wife, she likes to use the bobber just to float it. You've got to keep these things if you're a fisherman, of course. You got to see what your records are. So this is a scale that I bought for catfish. I've never even put a trout on there. I don't take it very often. I have it over here because I was fishing for some larger trout and I just thought I'd take it. But this little measuring tool, sometimes I'll use that. Went over the power bait already. This line, I use size 8 line, which is kind of funny. Most people recommend like much lower, but honestly, I have no trouble with size 8 line. The fish, it doesn't bother the fish, and I almost never break this line. And so sometimes I'll even get a snag and I'll just straight up horse the hook out through the rocks, and it works really well with size line. So I always keep some of that just as spare. And then I've got these boxes over here just as backup. Sometimes I'll keep it in the truck or something. So this just has backup of some different trout magnet type stuff, and then some larger bobbers and hooks, some spinners, some swim bait if I decide to go bass fishing, and then just some little pods down here. And lizards. If I see lizards, a lot of lizards out by the river, I will use some of this. And these work great for smallmouth and bass and just largemouth bass, but they do work against trout sometimes too, if you find the right size. Here's my net that I use, nothing special. It does the job. And then over here, well, I'll kind of bring my flies over to this next area, because I do fly fishing some. But I'll go ahead and go over my rod and reel combo. So reels, I always go with the Omegas. Those are absolutely the best reels that I've found. Super smooth, great at casting. I think these are maybe 6 or 8 ball bearings, so they're pretty decent, and they hold 6 and 8 pound line pretty well. And these are actually some larger kind of heavy duty rods to some extent. Your rod really doesn't matter, I'm going to be honest. Unless you're fishing for smaller native trout and you want something that really has a lot of give to it, that may be a little bit different, but these work well. They do the job. But most of the time, if I'm fishing for native trout, I will be using my fly rod anyways, so I don't have to worry about having a small rod. So let's come on over here. So this is my fly rod. So the reel is a White River reel, and the rod is a Gray's 8.6 rod. And I'm just now getting into fly fishing really, so I don't know a ton about it. And if you've watched my fly fishing series, I've yet to catch a fish, but I will catch one day. And there's my fly tying kit. So I've tied a couple of them that are in here, but this is most of my flies that I keep. I sometimes will bring a backup. But I have had action. I just have not, I've not hooked one. Or I have hooked one. I've just not reeled one in, I guess, all the way. And so let's see if I can find any of them that are mine in here. They're over here somewhere. I'm not gonna look through this. They're not that great, but I'm working on it. Here, yeah, here's one of them. This is not the best one, but we'll see. Just a little nymph. It does the job though. But I do find that this works really well too. It's like almost like a little imitation trout magnet. And so most of these in here, I usually run a 2-rig system with a dry fly and a little nymph or something. Is usually what I run. And then I usually just keep my my actual rod and stuff in this rod holder. So, works pretty good. But hopefully you all enjoyed this video. Just kind of a look what's in my really dirty trout vest. It's not about what it looks like, it's about what it does. And I catch quite a few fish with this setup here. So if y'all have any questions or want to look at anything in more detail, just let me know, and I can add another video onto this or something else. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. I'll be doing a lot more fishing content this year coming up. I got some new camera equipment, and I've got a few new places that I'm wanting to try that look pretty good. So here come maybe February, March time. From then on, basically, I'll be hard into trout fishing. So make sure you subscribe if you want to see that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.